Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Ochoa. I am the Intake and Outreach Manager at Family Service at Glencoe. I also carry a caseload here. I am going to be today presenting on connecting through play on one of our Lunch and Learn presentations. You will be able to find the full recording of this on our website as well as our YouTube channel. But we also welcome any inquiries. Today we're going to be discussing how play impacts connection between parents, between other relationships, and the importance that it has in the development, healthy development of a child. A little bit about me before we get started. I have a background in clinical social work. I have been with Family Service of Glencoe for about 4 years now. I work with clients of all ages, as young as 3, 4 years old, and late into life as well. I do my work both in English and Spanish. I graduated from Loyola with a master's in social work, and I have a bachelor's degree in Spanish with a specialization in social work from Coker University. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it's way down in the South. I have worked in a multitude of different settings. I have worked in the community. I have worked in schools as well as like outpatient and residential facilities. And I have worked as well with like a variety of ages as well as ranges of cultures and languages. But today we're going to be focusing on the power of play. I use play therapy quite a bit throughout all of the sessions that I do because it's really a child's natural way of communicating. They will have a way of expressing things through play that they might not yet have the words for. One of the things that I love about it is that it helps them be able to share with you how they are feeling, what is bothering them, even if they don't have the language for that as well yet. It is the foundation of emotional health. A child that knows how to play, an adult that plays with a child, will create a deeper connection with them. Using play to strengthen can strengthen your ability relationship with your child. Imagine for a minute that you are spending some time with your child, and doing so would allow you to step into his world, his or her world. Not the world of chores and schedules, but the world where stuffed animals have secret lives, superheroes face impossible missions, and a cardboard box can transform into a rocket ship, a castle, a chip, anything without warning. It is going to be allowing their imagination to take flight and show you what they can do. And throughout all this, they're talking to you. It is their natural language. They are able to express through symbols, through imagination, and amazingly, they are wonderfully honest during these interactions. And it allows us to be able to connect deeper with them. Now, why does this matter? It matters because connection is the foundation of a child's emotional health. It is what fuels cooperation, their resilience, and their ability to regulate big feelings. When a child feels seen and understood, their behavior shifts, their nervous system softens, and their trust deepens. This connection will also help them feel understood. And when we feel understood, then it's easier for us to trust the person that we are with. It's easier for us to show what's going on, communicate with that person. It's also one of the safest ways in which a child can express how they feel, what they need, as well as we have mentioned, like throughout all of it, building a stronger connection with that person they're playing with. Play therapy is built on truth, on trust, and it is a therapeutic approach that uses play, as we mentioned, as a communication, a way for them to express their feelings. Um, a child might not be able to say, I'm scared about school, but they might show you through a trembling dinosaur or a superhero who keeps losing battles or a doll that would rather stay home that day and not go to school, um, and wants to play and stay close to those they feel safe with. Um, all of these stories will become ways of understanding, ways to create safety, as well as emotional awareness. Now, you don't have to be a therapist to be able to do all of this with them. We have already talked a lot about play. I've mentioned I use play therapy in a lot of my sessions, and it's not a pure form of it, but we do use it to help children express what they need, build trust, as well as have them feel a sense of control. As during the play therapy, they take the lead. They will guide the activities. You are at times an observer. You are there participating with them in the role that they assign to you. You can make observations. You can ask questions about like any curiosity that you have. But the whole goal is that they can guide what's happening and show you and be able to communicate all the things that they might not have the language for yet. Their beautiful part in this is that, as I've mentioned, we don't have to be a therapist to be able to play with a child. Um, all that play is going to help us do in outside of a session is also to create that connection. Work on why play is going to like help you communicate with them, understand them, and help them feel safe around you. As our notes here say, like playing with your child can help communication through, as we talked about earlier, like symbols, stories, their imagination. Um, and all of this, when you join them to do this, it will be done without, the space is meant to be done without judgment, without rushing, and without trying to teach or correct. Something will shift as you're doing this with them. It will feel a little different. The more you do it, the more often that you sit down or spend some time with them, the easier it will become, the more connection and trust that will be there. There will be a much lower sense of stress and increased sense of trust and belief. I have mentioned already that you don't have to be a therapist to be able to play or use some of the tenets of play therapy with your child. And it's true. In all of this, what's going to matter the most is that you are going to be present with them. And as I mentioned earlier, like when a parent's role in therapeutic play is going to be following the lead of the child, letting them choose the activity. You might be able to give them a couple of choices of the options that you have for that day and letting them pick which one they feel the most comfortable with. Um, then being able to take the role that they assigned for you, listening to and paying attention, observing and paying attention to what they are working on. And yes, you can make comments instead of reflecting your feelings. Or even if you notice that they're feeling frustrated, then you'd be reflecting their feelings. Can say something like another example. It looks like your tower falling made you frustrated, but without assumptions. Remember, this is going to be a child-led activity. And whether you're spending 10 minutes with them, an hour, or longer than that, it is going to continue to be child-led, which means reflecting, noticing, but without assumptions. You can ask questions of like, how are you feeling? Like I've noticed it maybe is feeling you've been mentioning your own, like I would feel frustrated, but like how are you feeling? Like are you excited to rebuild it? Um, what would you like to do with it? But without assuming that they are feeling a specific way. Um, Play is going to be a gentle way to support their emotions, to allow them to create act out feelings or conflicts, and giving them that feeling of being in charge of the story, giving them a sense of control that they may not feel in any other situation. So we can follow their lead, observe before acting, reflect their feelings, and all of this is going to help us create a safe and judgment-free space for them. Through play, you can help validate their inner world without needing to lecture them or having a long conversation. And like I mentioned, you can continue to reflect what you're noticing, and that may lead to a longer, deeper conversation, but that has to be continue to be led by your child. Because you can also mention things like if you're playing a world of dinosaurs, the dinosaur looks scared. I wonder if he needs help. This is giving them an opening to share their feelings, to acknowledge that, yeah, they might want some help, but doing it in a safe way because it's a dinosaur. But they're also learning that if I need help, if I'm scared, mom or dad or my guardian or whomever's playing with me, it's a safe adult to reach out to and ask for help. Um, with all of this, there is going to be different ways that we can play with them. We talked about imagination. We talked about using boxes to become something that they were not to begin with. There is different ways in which you can play with your child to build that connection. This is all going to be child-led play, which you'll follow their ideas. You can also do, as we talked about, the imaginative play and use dolls, action figures, do some pretend scenarios. I cannot tell how many times I have been a ninja or the cat or some sort of superhero in different moments of play. And we have observed a child telling about a time they felt scared, a time they felt really brave, a time they felt loved, a time they felt worried about something. That imagination will bring out all of these feelings, shared and played through uh, those dolls and whatever else, whatever other toy the child is using. And for all of this, you don't need special toys either. Um, you can use anything really to be able to imagine that it's something else. Imagine that it is in a different world. Imagine that you are participating in something. Um, you can use even like your carpeting. Imagine that you're traveling to a different world, and then use pillows to like stones so that you don't step on the lava floor. It's all you can use things that are just like around you in the room to encourage that imagination. Or if you are outside or outdoors beautiful that day and it will be a good thing to do, you can ask them to go outside. You can chase, you can play play around, like imagine that you're in a ninja course at the park. Or that you are in outer space or in the jungle in one of those like jungle gyms in the parks. It's going to be continue to use imagination, but using also movement. And movement is such a good tool to use because it encourages regulation. And at the same time, you are participating with them. You're building that connection where they're feeling safe with you in those movements, in that activity. Um, or if you are and your child is more of an artistic and they want to make slime, they want to build something, they want to play with different textures, that as well are different ways in which you can play. And like we mentioned, you don't need specific toys. um, Slime can be made at home with some glue, water, contact solution, and baking soda. If you have food coloring, you can also add that to give it some color, or even if you have sparkle, glitter to give it some sparkle. You can also use flour and other items like that to make some sort of sensory activities. You can use rice, you can use beans, you can use a whole bunch of different items at home for building things. Like I have built castles out of tissue boxes that are with them, and that itself it's just a simple box, but it gets painted, it gets things added to them. It's using their and our imagination to create something and make it into something fun. Um, there are also, of course, cooperative gameplay, which throughout all of this, there is some sense of cooperation throughout all of it because you're building things together, you're running around, um, you're letting them tell you what role it is that they need you to take during that play. Just going to be all working in as a team. Um, and for therapeutic play, if the goal is to build connection, the goal is to build a safe space and create trust, competition would be best to be left outside of it. So I know that there's like board games that families like to play where there's the winner. Those should not be like one of the options because we're trying to foster cooperation, that trust. And let's face it, adults are often better at all of these board games, and children will feel again a sense of a loss of control in those situations and might not feel as open and cooperating because they're not feeling safe in that situation. Um, your role in this kind of therapeutic play is simple but powerful. You'll follow your child's lead. You'll observe before you act. You reflect the feeling, um, their feelings gently. Like we talked, like it looks like your tower falling, make you frustrated. You'll create a space where they feel safe to be themselves, messy emotions and all. And that's another thing too. If we are playing when it's like building something, an art activity or a sensory activity, making a mess should be expected and not something we worry about in the moment. Because then we can engage them in the cleanup afterwards as well. And if they're feeling safe, they're feeling connected, there will be less of no, I don't want to do that part. I always get help with kids like cleaning up afterwards. But we have to be okay with the mess happening while it's happening. Um, there is more ways as well in which you can use or you can play. And I know earlier I mentioned it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be something that you do for like um 10, 12 hours. Um, however, you can take 10 minutes of special play daily. Um, it will be letting the child choose the activity. There is two different types of therapeutic play, one in which the child gets control over everything, and one where you are allowed to do a little bit of leading. I have found that when the child has more control over what is played and how what the adult role is, that leads to more connection. Um, and it has seen them feeling more comfortable, more their defense is coming down, and being able to express a lot more of what their feelings are in those moments. You can also, during this time, it's going to be very important to put away your phones, to limit any other distractions, and give your child your full and undivided attention. You can, as we have talked about, this is going to be to show them that you're truly present. You're there. You want to be with them. They matter. They can feel safe talking to you and know that if they start talking about, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused about what happened, and they're showing you through all these stories, these characters, these themes, and it's all the actions in their play, that they know that you're going to be paying attention, that you're going to be there present for them. Um, and that no matter if they're like expressing frustration or anger through it, you're there and you're present and it's okay. You can narrate, as we talked about, like what you see. Like you're working so hard on that tower, and once it falls, or if they are the ones that knock it over, like, wow, you worked so hard on it. Was it fun? Like how come you knocked it down? Like you've been curious. Instead of saying, oh, are you angry or did you not like it? But it's more like, how come you knocked it down? Like curious about what's the purpose to build it, and then fun to knock it down and do it all over again. Did they not like something that was going on with it? They'll feel much more comfortable if it's a question, if it's a curiosity, that rather than assumption of what they're feeling and thinking in that moment. Um, and that's what our last step is talking about. Um, avoiding correcting, teaching, or leading during this time, which if their tower is not completely straight, if the dinosaur is able to talk, or they have a dinosaur that all of a sudden can fly, even though it's not a turtle, it's absolutely okay. It doesn't have to be realistic. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be in the way that it's supposed to be. I have used therapeutic play in some sessions where the child will tell me that they are going to draw a the ocean and sand and the sky and some birds, and our sky is green, the sand is it's like orange, and the water is like multicolor. Right, that's how it's presenting in her or his or their imagination. And that's awesome. We can work on that. We can make, I can ask curious questions of like, oh, I would love to know why you chose those colors. And I often have her, like, they make them happy. They saw something that was orange once and they really like that color. And it can be just very simple. They just wanted to do that one. But it is building still connection where later on they might feel more comfortable telling me, like, I just don't like this or I don't like that. And expressing a lot more of what truly goes on inside their minds that would not have come out if I had asked a direct question. Um, and that's where using all of this to support emotions comes through. I have found and that using therapeutic play has created a sense of like safety for the child in the sessions that allows them to talk about anything that's been making them feeling anxious, um, where they have been able to explore big feelings. We have learned new coping skills based on some of the things they have acted out. Um, we have practiced problem solving and self-control. We've also worked on building confidence and emotional awareness in a space where they can make sense of their inner world without any pressure. Um, it has been used and continues to be very helpful for many different things in our world for like anxiety, any behavioral challenges, any trauma, stress life events, um, any emotional regulation difficulties, any social struggles, or even grief and transitions. We, all of those have been things that we have worked on in a during a therapeutic play session. And they have been able to build, like we said, new coping skills, practicing things that have helped them be able to name the emotion, identify what triggers that emotion, and then be able to learn the coping skill that they can use when they're struggling with an emotion. Um, Emotionally playing with your child will help support their emotions. Um, Reflecting them, talking to them, validating their expression. If they're if you ask a question out of curiosity and they tell you, yeah, the dinosaur was scared, um, and they do need help, then you can validate, like, yeah, I can see that. How can I help? Instead of like going into it like, no, they can do it on their own. But like simply like supporting them, validating that feeling scared is a normal thing, that needing help is also a normal thing, and that you are there to provide that support and help. Thankfully, for all of those things, when you are working with your child or like playing with the child at home, you don't need years of training or taking a specific course or special toys. All you need is your presence. That is going to be your most powerful tool. Being fully present, having as few distractions as possible, dedicating a specific time during the day for your child to know I can expect my parent to be here for this long, giving me their full attention. And as I've mentioned, like even 10 minutes a day, it's enough to create connection with your child, enough to create trust from your child to have it be beneficial for their emotional regulation, for their feelings of safety, for their trust in you. Small, consistent moments of play create a lasting connection. In a few other worlds where I have worked, we have used this, like those like small and consistent moments to create other senses of trust, even in children older than 12, which is the recommended cap for play therapy. They are able to receive small moments of attention throughout the day, and they learn to expect when. They learn to know that the time will be given to them, that they might not necessarily have to do something to get their parents' attention, that they might just be able to say, I need to talk, or I would like some time, and know when that time is going to happen once the parent tells them. Or if this has been happening on a consistent basis, they'll learn to look forward to it. They'll be prepared and know what it is that they want to have to talk about. Letting your child choose the activity again gives them that sense of control, that sense of like, I can, when my ideas are also good ideas, my parent is willing to follow my lead. That's validating to them as well. And you're resistant or to correct teachers during the play lets them know that you're simply there to enjoy and be there with them and support them. Um, children being in charge of the story gives them the sense of control that they may not feel in other situations, and you being there helps them feel safe. It will lead to more trust in themselves outside of those play sessions. You will learn to more trust in telling you about something they don't not feeling confident about, something that is making them feel scared or worried or concerned. And it would also give you a chance to help support them by validating that don't need to be perfect, that mistakes happen, that things don't always go as we expect them. Um, your warm, curious, and attuned presence is going to be, as we mentioned, the most powerful tool that you have with them. And these consistent moments of play will create a lasting connection with them. Um, the connection will come first. Correction outside of that will become a little bit easier, gentler, and far more effective because you'll know what actually worries them, what they need, what helps them, and you wouldn't know how to validate any concerns they have. Um, yeah, so it is going to be about trusting that play is actually going to lead to something successful. Um, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're just playing. They actually do give you access to their inner world during this plays. Um, they reveal any fears, hopes, frustrations, or any wishes that they have through the play that they choose. Um, and they feel safe, like when they know that you're there to enjoy, support them. Um, even when they're feeling anxious or scared or confused. And they'll be able to show you through all the different plays. For the last thing I want to talk about before is that it is important to take the time to have consistency and to work on being fully present. And that's going to be one of the most important tools in working and practicing therapeutic play with your child. It's whether it is like within like 10 minutes, 20 minutes that you are able to spend with them on that day. That ability to be present and to fully join their imaginative world is going to make a big difference. If you do want to learn more about this, we practice it in our sessions. We are happy to guide you through more ways in which you can do it, which just leads me to a little bit about us and how you might be able to reach out to us. We provide individual and family sessions. We also do single parent consultations. Um, and just like today, we will do and continue to do some trainings, workshops for any organizations in the community, or just that we come up with, and topics that we notice our parents or the clients bring to us that might be benefiting for the community as well. We also provide some co-parenting help. We do couples therapy. Yeah, we work with a whole spectrum of ages. Like you mentioned, I work with kids as young as 3, 4 years old, and up to however old the person is. They can be teenagers, adults, young adults, or adults. We probably will have someone in our team that specializes or has experience working with that population. So we always welcome giving us a call or sending us an inquiry online to obtain any assistance, even if it is just one of those single session consultations. And if you have any questions, of course, there is our information. You can reach us at fsgcares.org. Our phone number is 847-835-5111. If you want to reach out directly to me, you can send me an email at alex@fsgcares.org. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you at our next event.